All right. All right. This is your host, Leon Duncan, and I'm back with the Real Estate Lunchbox. 18 years in real estate. I stream this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just attacking some of the issues that's going on in the market, not just real estate market, but also the overall market, because the goal is when you understand everything that's going on, you can pivot better when it comes to situations that arise in the real estate market. Real estate is local, but it's also national. So that's why we do this show. I produce it and air it myself. Once again, what I said is 18 years in the real estate business. I've been a buyer, I've been a seller, I've helped people buy and sell homes, done probably about 10 or 12 fix and flips myself, 75 wholesale deals, working personal transactions. And I've been in the business for about 18 years. About 18 years. So what you'll definitely get from me is insight on a lot of these topics and situations that are going on. And we're going to do this live. We are streaming to YouTube. We're streaming to Facebook. And if you're on YouTube or Facebook, please don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and follow for more content. I like to put the chat bubble in here as long as jokers don't go crazy. I have no problem. But when you start going ham, I can cut you off like that, boy. And I will cut you off. And I'll block you. Because at the end of the day, we're here for intelligent conversation, enjoyable banter, and definitely a clear conversation about what's going on in the real estate business, in the real estate market. I don't like boring, so you won't get a boring show from me. I like to talk about everything from what's going on in City Hall with Andre Dickerson. We're going to cover some things having to do with Section 8 shortages. We're going to also cover what's going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene, because at the end of the day, she is one of the Georgia, she still is right now, a congressman coming out of Georgia. And she's not too far from where I'm at. So I've always kept up with her. She's very polarizing. Okay. Yep. And I'm locking everything in. I produced this whole thing from beginning to end. So please, if you got a comment, don't hesitate to comment and say what you got to say. And what I said, the best thing is, again, like, subscribe, follow for more content. And to keep up with this, every time you push in an algorithm, it really does help, and I enjoy it. Some of these guys on Facebook, I know Facebook can be the most boring place. It's my least favorite place to live stream. I call Facebook, when I live stream on straight Facebook, I call it charity work. That's true. Charity work. Charity work. But I'm literally lining all of this up right now. And we're in this Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to cover some real good stories. Over the weekend, there was a lot of good things that took place. We had Mamdani-Trump meet up. We also had, Bougies. Praz is out. Oh my God, 14 years. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about this portable housing. And definitely we're going to get into ICE raids, because what's conversation on the media without talking about ICE and their raids and who's getting raided, who's getting put out. But hey, once again, Leon, Real Estate Lunchbox. I wanted to start this popping with something very funny, but you know what? I'm not going to drop that one. What we're going to do is we're going to move straight into this Section 8 situation going on in Clayton County. So if you're not familiar, Clayton County is a county that's located in Atlanta, not in Atlanta, in Georgia. It's probably one of the largest counties next to Fulton County. Fulton County is where Atlanta sits. Clayton is about south of Atlanta. Then we've got DeKalb on the east side, and we've got Cobb on the west side, and Alpharetta, Gwinnett, all those other places north of the city. So when I moved to Atlanta, the very first place I lived in was Clayton County. And I lived in Clayton County because Clayton County is, I think, probably the most affordable place to live in if you're just coming to the city. So if you're watching this program and you're thinking about moving into the city of Atlanta, moving to Georgia, primarily the Atlanta area, you want to be somewhere that's affordable. And right now, places like Clayton County, I say is the blue collar work area. In my opinion, this is the area where you can turn around and you can work and you can find some reasonable housing. And that's one of the things that makes Atlanta different. Clayton County is, I call it a blue collar. I think I said that blue collar community, mostly blue collar. And what makes it blue collar is you find that some of the homes that are there, the prices for buying homes are a lot cheaper. We can find places in Clayton County, 1-bedroom, 1-bath homes under 300,000, under 250,000. I'm not talking about a mansion, but I am talking about a place that's comfortable. Sometimes it does need cosmetic work done to it, but at the end of the day, if you're talking about trying to stay within your budget, Clayton County is the place for that. It's the place for that. So when I moved to Clayton County, we lived there for a little bit. And what I discovered is Clayton is an interesting place. You don't experience like the crime like Atlanta does, but it does have its crime factor. But you do have a community of folks who just really want to get out the city, and they recognize this as being one of the best places to live, whereas affordable is not too far from the city. You've got access to the heart of the city with Clayton County, okay? And so, if you're here for the first time,
congratulations, well done.
I'm here to say thank you for showing up and taking the time. I know there's so many other places you could be, but we're going to get into it right now. Because this was very weird. This was crazy. This tells me how much the real estate market needs these private investors. They need people like us that are out there finding property, finding deals, connecting them with mom and pop companies or groups that will go in and rehab the property, fix it up, get it ready, and sell it at a reasonable price. So I would say Clayton County is probably an affordable home area because they don't take too lightly to a lot of corporations coming in, big businesses coming in and doing a lot of unearthing, changing around Clayton County. They try to keep it affordable, okay? And that means you probably might not get the most, luxurious places, okay? But they're clean. They're good to live in. And if you're somebody you're dealing with that and you want to have an affordable place, Clayton County is a good place to start. And after we get out of this and we talk about Clayton County, I'm going to show you another affordable opportunity that's on the table right next to Clayton County. But let's begin first by listening to News 5 and seeing what they got to say about what happened with Clayton County, this Section 8 shortage.
New at 5, chaos and confusion in Clayton County today when the Jonesboro Housing Authority opened a wait list for a place to live.
Fox 5's Tyler Fingert is here in studio to explain what happened here. Tyler?
Yeah, the demand was so great, many left empty-handed. Skyfox drone flew over the scene as hundreds showed up for just 40 slots on the Jonesboro Housing Authority wait list.
When we get here, it is mayhem.
Hope for a new home turned to frustration in Jonesboro Thursday morning as the city's housing authority opened its wait list for 2- and 4-bedroom units.
It is a mess. We got mothers and children out here. Children are out here waiting for hours, and people are taking days off of work. Some people left the line because they have to go to work.
Skyfox drone gives you a bird's eye view of the line. Some estimated more than 500 people showed up, which led to parking issues. Some got their cars towed and were forced to pay up.
Because I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get my spot back in line. I was in the front.
The owner of this SUV, who didn't want to go on camera, says she gave a tow truck driver her last $100 to get her vehicle back.
Now people who are low income, who have families, who are dealing with their own housing crisis, is now getting their cars towed.
The Jonesboro Housing Authority believes social media may have played a big role in the turnout for the rare opportunity to get on its wait list, but says it only had room for 40 families.
Now, Section 8 in every area of Atlanta, the southern communities like Clayton County is really stretched right now because you have to consider the money that actually comes from the state, which comes from the federal funds and things like that to actually make this work. It's been, with the government shutdown, it's definitely been a challenge. I'm pretty sure they stopped a lot. I had a property that we were trying to rent out on Section 8, and Section 8 took 30, 60 days to get back with us. And we had that property off the market for a while. So I can only imagine what's going on. And they never got back. And a lot of it had to do with so many renters and not enough places for them to live. When owners put their house on Section 8 or government housing, housing authority housing, however you want to call it, they're looking to land a tenant. And if you don't know what that means, they're looking to land a renter that will rent a place for approximately a year, and they get paid by the county. So Clayton has its Section 8. Fulton has its own Section 8 program. DeKalb has its own Section 8 program, and so does Cobb. The most popular one is Fulton County because they have the most resources, but Clayton County is very popular. They do have a lot of resources, but right now, getting housing in Clayton County can be a stretch between the houses that need to be rehabbed and the high cost to actually do it. And then you put that in line with the time for inspectors to get out there, do the inspection, and then issue that grant or that voucher to the person who is inquiring about it. And this is what we're starting to see more and more. I believe that this is a great opportunity if you're an investor and you're in the market. Clayton County is a great opportunity for housing. As you can see right here, it's not deficit in people. There's no deficit in people that are looking for housing in Clayton County. These are people, and it's a sad situation. They may have lost their other home. They may have lost their jobs, and Section 8 covers it. So it's many different reasons why they're out there. Some of them is medical issues concerning it, but there's some really good people that's on Section 8. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people. Very good people, sound like Trump, right? Very good people, very, very good people. But it's true. They're very good people that are on Section 8. I mean, you always have clowns that are out there and people that do stupid stuff. Stupid idiots are definitely out there. They float around all the time, okay? But in Clayton County, you find more, like I said, blue collar people that are really, they may work at the Amazon, they may work at the UPS place. They can't afford to live in Fulton, and definitely they can't afford to live in Cobb. I mean, Cobb, the average home price in Cobb is nearing 450, close to 500,000. There's no such thing as starter homes, but you can go to Clayton County and find some starter homes. We've got some deals that actually came by our table, because whenever somebody has a fix and flip deal or they've got an off-market deal, they message me. You're definitely welcome to go ahead and message me also if you're interested in getting some of those deals sent your way. The information is in the bio. But that's what you got going on with Clayton County. Now, we're going to finish this off real quick.
We want to say thank you guys for coming. However, if you are in the 2-bedroom waitlist line, we only have 3 slots left.
While many left empty-handed, some snagged a spot after getting in line Wednesday.
I feel like God did it all. Like, he really blessed me for real.
The Jonesboro Housing Authority says it did the best it could.
We are trying to accommodate as many people as we possibly can with the limited resources we have and with the funding that we receive.
One person said this should have been done online to avoid problems like this. The Housing Authority says it knows it was chaotic, and when the wait list reopens, it will look to change the process.
Yeah, you hope there are some lessons learned here about not bringing hundreds of people out to wait for these slots to open, maybe a lottery or something more clever to open these spots for families who really need them.
The heartbreaking part about all of this is clearly there is a need, and there just is not enough housing for the people who need that need.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's not enough housing. There isn't. The rehabs that come on the market, they require you to actually do the work and put it back out there. But when you're done with the work, if you don't have a crew or access to material where you're getting it very deeply discounted, the cost of owning a property, the materials, the work, the labor, the people who come in and do it is getting higher. So now you have less homes that are available for Section 8 housing through the Housing Authority, but you also deal with the funding portion. One thing is true, though. If you have a home and you don't have it on Section 8, you are still in a good position to make a ton of money with housing coming out of Clayton County, Georgia.
Congratulations. Well done.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sorry it went like that, and that's a sad thing to actually see take place. But on the reverse side, if you're someone with the means and the capability to get involved in this and to provide housing in that area, you will definitely make a good pretty penny. Because one thing I do in this show is not just to tell you what's going on with the culture, what's going on with news, what's going on, but I want to talk about real estate in this local Atlanta market, and then why wider too. Because at the end of the day, this market is wide open, and it's always been open for people that are ready to put in the work to invest in it. I've done deals in Clayton County. Clayton County is one of those places where it historically has been cheaper than Atlanta to get into. Now the prices are hiking up a little bit, but the raw land possibilities to build on it, I mean, it's nothing beats it. And once again, when you jump into this, you're watching this live stream, please hit like, because this helps the algorithm. Follow, please. It helps the algorithm. I like to go in and put a lot of this stuff out there. So potential investors, people that are looking to buy in the real estate market in Atlanta or the Atlanta area, surrounding area, you know where you can get the best deals from. And you can always message me on where to get some of the best deals from. The information is in the bio. Before I jump into that, because I think this is probably a good time to actually talk about this real quick. All right. I am an ambassador for a program called Live Free Give Hope. Okay. And if you go to 12monthfreerent.com, Live Free Give Hope is giving away a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in the city of Atlanta, fully furnished, flat screen TVs. I think we're going to stream from there this week. I'm gonna probably set up a stream because it's a beautiful apartment, beautiful, in a 6-unit building close to the AUC Center. If you don't know what that is, that's the Atlanta College University, AUC, Atlanta University Center. It's got Clark Atlanta, Morehouse. It's got Morris Brown. It's got Spelman. I actually went to school down there, so it's funny I forget that, but I didn't finish school down there. But if you have a child that's going to any one of those schools, this is a great place, and this is a great opportunity because we're going to do a drawing December the 31st, where we give away that 1-bedroom, 1-bath, okay? Fully furnished. You just go to 12monthfreerent.com. It's free to enter. It doesn't cost you anything. If you do want to get bonus entries for every dollar that you spend in merch, it just allows the owner to give you bonus entries into it and allows them to reach their goal of hitting 100 houses that they want to give away. They want to give away 100 doors. And the way they can do it is first they got to flip their money, which they're doing right here, putting their money into it to make it work for the community, people who are interested in it. But on the reverse side, if you get in there, it doesn't matter where you're at in the 50 states. When you enter this and you win, you can lease it out. You can Airbnb it out. I talk to a lot of people that are looking to get doors. They want to get into the investment business. I think that this is a great way to get into investing without having to, with the minimum amount of risk. Now you say, Leon, is a sweepstakes. I may not win. If you just saw how many people showed up for the possibility of getting one of those 40 units that was offered by Clayton County, you'll see how big this can actually be, because everyone needs housing. That's one thing that never goes away. And I'm glad I partnered with these guys, and we're able to now share it. We're able to now promote it and put it out there. Once again, it doesn't cost you anything to enter. But if you do want the bonus purchase, the bonus numbers, I would say do it, buy some merch. This is about $17,500 in value between their flat screens, between the cost to get it where it needs to be, between the utilities that they estimate is going to cost them each month, and also between the actual cost of rent. 1-bedrooms in Atlanta go for about $1,200 to $1,300. That gives you concept of what our market actually looks like in the Atlanta area. And this will give you an opportunity to become an investor and get involved, okay? Live Free, Give Hope. And great people over there. Hit it up, 12-month free rent. And okay, so let's move over to another story. I want to jump on this real quick. Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. I keep saying. This story with Marjorie Taylor Greene took everybody by surprise. Now, where's her district located? She is, if you're looking at Atlanta on a map, you'll see her district is northwest, covering Paulding County, going into Rome. Very, very good. I mean, good people, great area. open country. You can go and you'll see Trump flags. That's true. You'll go also and you'll see some liberal. Some of them were voting for Harris. I mean, it's a good mixture, but it's not right up on the city. You can still get into the city, a longer drive, but if you're somebody that loves the country, I love the country. They're roughly about 15, 20 minutes away from me. She's always been a good, outspoken congressman in Georgia, whether you like her or not. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know she loves her constituents. And I believe right now she's going through some type of crisis of conscience, you would say. You know, she's seeing some things that the average people don't actually see. Now, a lot of people gave their commentary on it. I was listening to CNN. I listened to NBC. I listened to ABC. And I came to this conclusion. Just like anything in life, you want to go straight to the horse's mouth. Like, you want to actually hear what she has to say. Because you got a lot of people thinking that she's saying this or she's saying that. But let's be for real. Let's talk about
Marjorie Taylor Greene. This was the post that she put up moments ago. This is her message to Georgia's.
Now, this is about 11 minutes, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. But there are some key points when I listened to initially that need to be spoken.
14th district. She is saying thank you to her constituents. Again, she wrote that long video in-house. Let's play it.
Election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts, American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas.
So to give you perspective, this is why I think she's going through some crisis of conscience. In 2022, she got a divorce. Her and her husband were married for years, had a child, had children. She got a divorce, and irreconcilable differences. And she's been in Congress this whole time. Literally, her position ripped her life apart. She had a parent that passed away, and her parent passed away, and she tells you right there, her mom, deathbed, her father. She spent millions of dollars going through this country of her own pocket, out of her own pocket. This is something that we got to pay attention to. I'm more tailored towards the conservative half. I can tell you right now, yes, I do have some things I'm a little bit more liberal in, but at its core, I'm more of a conservative. I'm more leaning towards the Republican Party or more like an independent, to let you know. But I don't believe my party's right about a lot of things. They're not right about a whole bunch of things. But one thing we do understand, that this is a power game, regardless of if you're on the left or if you're on the right, or if you're independent, and independents unfortunately don't really have a lot of power, but then they do, because they can sway to the left or they can sway to the right. But I think she's really done with the power plays and the power games.
Businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I've fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives.
So you have to watch that. A lot of this is coming out, and I'm going to keep saying it as we get towards this midterm, and Trump is in his last presidency. We haven't heard anything from J.D. Vance that's been compelling that he would actually make a good replacement for Trump, okay? Even though Trump brought him in as VP, I guess that could have been the idea that he would replace. It's been so many other people that possibly are jockeying for that position. One thing the Republican Party knows, and that Trump redefined how real estate. He's redefined how politics is actually done, whether you like them good or bad. Doesn't matter. Green has been a very, very big supporter of Trump. She's speaking and she sounds more like Candace Owens right now. She sounds very much more like Candace Owens, a hybrid between her and Nick Fuentes, the America First agenda. And she recognizes that this midterm, I think, is actually going to change the course of what Trump is actually doing. He hasn't been challenged through Congress or through the Senate. And we see largely, he's had, for a large part, a lot of people on his party backing him. This is the first breakaway. The question is, how deep does this run?
During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass the plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas they all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points.
And that's what we've seen. So I see a high increase of people breaking away from that MAGA movement, breaking away from the conservative side, and questioning right now, do we want to continue another 2 years of what we have had in this first year? One thing, this is big dog down here. I got big dogs at this house. One thing that stands out mostly from this is she has already thrown this out here and put the Republican Party and the conservatives on notice that even though they're giving us information coming from the White House saying this and this is happening and this is it, yeah, we're fighting the liberals. What she's saying, it's not their fault. I truly believe, and I've said this before, the same head, like the Republican and the liberal side, the same beast with different heads. The same beast with different heads. The only way that they make progress is keeping the left fighting the right and the right fighting the left. Because this is still about power. It's still about power. Now, I'm going to tell you, I would rather have conservative values in our country. I rather would. I've seen a lot of the liberal values. I've seen what they do. I've seen how they screw up. See, the problem a lot of us have is we like some things and we hate some other things. And the politicians don't want to separate it from the party or don't separate that agenda. If they truly wanted to bring about change, they could bring it. And she's telling you this.
Because they know how much credit card debt they have. They know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being...
So in Georgia, just to give you perspective on that, we do have one of the largest portfolios owned by corporations in Georgia. I think the percentage was, and this was really covering Metro Atlanta because they really concentrate more in Metro Atlanta. But her district still borders Metro Atlanta, so you do get that spillover. They buy these houses that people put on the market, whether you're talking about Zillow, OfferPad, whether you're talking about Open Door, and nothing negative. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of negative shit I can say about these damn companies, but the most horrible thing is that when they buy these products, they're not turning around and really selling all of it. Some of it they will sell to an asset management company to add into their portfolio. And when they sell it to the asset management company, the company rolls it back out as a rental. They don't roll it back out as a house for somebody to buy. So you'll only get standing inventory that the asset management companies don't really want to take on, becoming the inventory that goes out on for Open Door or for OfferPad or for Zillow. My family, we bought our house from Open Door. We sold our other property to OfferPad. So that'll tell you, we went from one deal with a corporation to another deal with a corporation. And they don't do a lot of good shit in the house, honestly. You'll get it like just enough to be able to qualify for that FHA, and then you've got to go in and do all the other cosmetic stuff. It can be draining, but there was a season for an extended period of time where if you putting an offer on a house, you remember early 2020 COVID times? It was then, and even going up to about 2022, I would say, a little bit of 2023, you were competing with asset management companies that will turn around and they would have a full price offer in on a house. Some cases is cash, and most cases is cash, of course, right? But you're not dealing with long waiting terms and all of that. Why would a homeowner not give you that? Like, why would a homeowner turn that away? And that's how a lot of these asset management companies ended up beating out mom and pop buyers, someone who's buying their first home, because they outbid them in a bid. And that happened around Georgia. That happened more in that Metro Atlanta area, but it spread out to her jurisdiction, her district also. Very, very big. Very, very big.
Forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet.
So let me give you a quick statistic. This just came out, right? Leading report. Americans with college degrees now make up about 25% of the unemployed. Yeah, that's big.
Regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election.
And that's the thing I think that ticks her off the most. And all the news outlets will talk about everything except for that main point in her statement. I think what ticked her off is more or less she's already bended the knee. She's already been supportive of Trump. And we already know that these rhinos, and if you don't know what a rhino is, a Republican in name only, all of these rhinos, the same ones that fought him tooth and nail during his first administration, are all lined up right now as allies in this administration.
Congratulations. Well done.
They are milking the shit out of him.
Congratulations. Well done.
But don't get it twisted. He's getting it from them too. Okay? Just like the renovations that took place in the White House, just like if you I did a video on it, those renovations are paid by some of the billionaires that contributed to his campaign, some of the billionaires that are profiting from him being in office. And I have no problem with billionaires. I'll tell you, I have no problem with millionaires. I have no problem with money. I have no problem with it. What I do have a problem with is that the posturing and changing of position, because he's in the presidency, because he controls what he controls, out of a fake positioning. They don't care about the people, nor do they care about him. I have a problem with that, and I'm hoping that if he's leveraging a lot of the things he has, that he's leveraging it to very deep. He's getting something from it, and knowing Trump, he's going to be getting something from it. But as somebody that's been following him, and I've heard this time and time again, Candace Owens is saying the same thing. Nick Fuentes is saying the same thing. Some people are really starting to say it more and more. Why are these rhinos in the cabinet?
And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021. My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Wow.
Oh, no.
What I felt was, and I had to do this, I had to play this. We could do commentary for NBC on this all the time, but I think the best thing that anyone can do is actually listen to her full statement. She sounds like a woman that's been betrayed. She sounds like a woman that has stood by her man and been on his side and came down and boxed for him and fought for him in all the extreme situations. She was there after when he got that judgment against him in New York. She's been outspoken. She's going toe-to-toe with Jasmine Crockett. And putting her in place. And if you didn't see that, she was like, yeah, no, sister. But she's been a loyal soldier. She's really been a loyal soldier. And I don't think you can ask for anything more with someone like her. So now the question is, why? Why? Why is Trump just pushing out his loyal soldiers? Why is he doing that? As much as I'm a fan of Trump, and I can show you all my Make America Great hats and all those different things, I don't think this is a great move. I don't think it's a good move at all. Her as a voice piece, as a mouthpiece, some people may say, yeah, she brought more harm, but no, you got to realize she is a white female who is very outspoken, very intelligent, very sharp, okay? And part of the base needs that to swing the votes. White females make up a large percentage of the votes, not white males. So when you do that and you toss her out, you're now leaving yourself open to someone else from the other side, presenting another white female that connects with your base. And now you can have a shift that takes place underneath you. And you'll be wondering what's going on. Guys, if you are watching this, like and follow, or like and subscribe, throw some hearts in here. Leave a comment. I'm definitely able to read your comments when they come up. But that's exactly what you see with her. That's what you see with her. So I've heard commentators and political pundits reacting and say, oh, she is walking away and she's a traitor and Trump just repeating what Trump said. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm someone when Trump says something, if it's funny, I will damn well repeat that shit because that boy is funny.
Congratulations.
Right?
Well done.
Yeah, when he lays it. But at the end of the day, this is not something that's gonna benefit the Republicans. And we're coming up to that midterm. Everything is about midterm right now. And if you notice, the story has been echoing about affordability over and over. And like I said, I'm not going to finish reading. I'm not going to listen to her whole thing. You can definitely go listen to her whole thing. It's out there on News Nation. Definitely go listen to him. It's no problem. But we can tell already from a meeting with Zohran Mamdani in the White House with Trump that Trump is beginning to posture, if he hasn't been already, for this midterm race. This midterm race will determine everything when it comes to the next 2 years. People are wondering why we're turning around, well, the next, not 3 years, it's the next 2 years, wondering why he's turning around meeting with Mamdani, wondering why he's saying bye-bye to Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I think this is the wrong thing with her to do. I personally believe this is a wrong thing with her to do. She's a firecracker, she's a fireball, and she definitely has sway. But this question of affordability surrounding housing, definitely surrounding housing. Housing affordability is the worst thing right now, especially if we look at what's taking place in Atlanta, some of these metropolitan areas. Housing affordability will make it where this new generation cannot afford homes. And if they afford the homes, they'll be house poor. That's it. So I believe he's posturing and putting himself in a position, one, for the party to come out strong during the midterm, addressing affordability, but also to make himself be the affordability president, the one who talks about affordability, who's in connection with affordability. Now, you may disagree with a lot of things with Trump, but one thing we do know is that he makes deals. But I can see one thing from Marjorie Taylor Greene's experience, that Zohran is in a world of shit. And I'm going to let you see this because these are the major points. We just needed to talk about the major points in this meeting. That's why I didn't want to listen to the whole thing, because there were some major things which show me what I'm saying is true.
I appreciated the meeting with the president, and as he said, it was a productive meeting focused on a place of shared admiration and love, which is New York City, and the need to deliver affordability to New Yorkers.
I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's easier.
So when he does that play, everybody wanted him to turn around and blow up Mamdani. I was looking for him to get up there and blow him up. I was looking for him to treat him like he did Zelensky when Zelensky came up there. Midterms. He's going to, I'm not going to say that word. He's going to screw over Mamdani. He's going to drag him through the mud. He's going to let him do what he does. And at the end of it, every last thing that this mayor does that drops the ball, because he's going to drop the ball regardless of how many you guys want to champion him and believe that Mamdani is the next, Bill Clinton. I've heard some real outlandish statements about who he is. And now we see a lot of socialist Democrats coming up from Portland, Seattle, Minnesota, just coming out of the woodworks. They've been there, okay? And I say woodwork, but they've been there, okay? Now, he just wants to drag him through the mud because you got to consider this. This guy has never ran a municipality before. He's never ran anything of this level of caliber with these moving parts, even when you put your cabinet in place. And we saw it from Trump in his first run. He put a cabinet in place, and the cabinet literally turned on him. The cabinet said, oh, you're big business, but you're too big business for us. Plain and simple. And that's what we're going to see with Mamdani. He knows it. See, there's a thing about having a ton of reps that you do whenever you do something. So whenever you go to work out, for example, whenever you are creating or doing anything, even this particular podcast, even this stream, I went through about 4 or 5 different variations before I actually came to this point. And I'm probably going to go through about 3 or 4 different more as I begin to structure it more towards my audience and providing them what they want and what they need. You've got to do those reps. You don't have enough time to do those reps and screw up people's lives. Screw up the business, because we see that in Chicago right now. Chicago, the downtown is desolate. And now, because they don't have any big businesses downtown, the tax burden is being shifted over to people that own houses. This is what's going to happen, and he sees it in the NYC. Even though all of this is song and dance and is pop and circumstance, the word of affordability, every last player right now in the political structure wants to be tied to that word. And that's what I believe is happening.
It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Why did you fly here? Aren't trains greener?
I'll use every form of transit, and I want to make sure that they're all affordable in New York City, and that's why making buses fast and free is a centerpiece of our campaign.
There is a bus that goes.
Well, but I know, but it'd be fluid. That's a lot quicker too. You know, I mean, he's working very hard, and for him to be, that's a long.
Look at the compliments. Just, hey, we're the best buddies. We're cool. Hey, we're good. Nice and comfortable.
That's a very long drive. I'll stick up for you. You know.
Republican Elise Stefanik has campaigned multiple times by calling Zohran Mamdani a jihadist. Do you think you're standing next to a jihadist right now in the Oval Office?
No, I don't. But she's out there campaigning, and you know, you say things sometimes in a campaign.
Isn't that sort of
she's a.
That would be a great opportunity for him to say, yeah, he's a jihadist. I believe that. Trump has this guy lower his guard so much in this whole thing, giving him his political clout, stealing some of Trump's political clout. There's more going on in this than just the commander-in-chief trying to bury a hatchet. I don't think so at all. But we will know within the first year of what type of mayor he's going to be. I think we'll know within the first quarter of where that's going to go. And Trump knows it, and he's just playing his cards.
Very capable person, but you really have to ask her about that. But I don't particularly. I think I met with a man who's a very rational person.
We talked a number of times about it on the campaign, was shifting the tax burden for property taxes from what he called minority communities to white-based communities and putting more taxes on white people. I also noticed that in your acceptance speech you didn't mention anything about America or Christians or white people in general, and so I didn't know if that was one of the policies that you guys had spoken about.
We focused on affordability. We focused on the cost of living crisis. What I will say is that I am very much interested in property tax reform, because what we see right now in New York City is a system that is so inequitable that it can't even stand up in court.
He used to call New York City home.
You notice he didn't address the question. He just spoke about affordability. So everyone that they gave an example of fits into that affordability space. And this is, to me, this was all just a show, man. This is really just a show. It was designed to let everybody know, hey, I'm with you. That's no problem. I got your back. I got your back. And I don't think that we kind of know what's going on in its entirety. And I don't think we'll really know what's going on until Trump decides to drop the anvil and let everyone know what's happening. Oh, wow. This is very interesting right now. All of my screens are frozen. Yeah, but who cares, right? So we're still gonna get out here. And, yeah. So let's go to this next story, right? I love this podcast, PBD podcast. I love it. It's a great podcast. The thing about PBD podcast, and I'm always going to tell people, go like and follow it. Great commentation. I had to borrow his insight right now and throw it up here and actually talk about it, having to do with this next situation. This is not something that I think can be ignored because it does have political ramifications, and I'm wondering if it's going to roll up to Obama. Check this out.
But anyways, while you're talking about that, whether you're ready or not, folks.
Here she comes.
The Fugees.
Ready or
Rough
not.
start for the Fugees, right? Rapper
Proswell.
Michele, sentenced to 14 years in prison over illegal donations to Obama campaign.
Oof.
So a lot of people are asking, does this mean the guy that he gave the money to is also going to go through it? I mean, is he tied to it? Let me read it to you.
Weird.
Grammy Award-winning Prosgrel of the Fugees was sentenced on Thursday to 14 years for a case in which he was convicted of illegally funneling money of millions of dollars in foreign contributions to Obama in 2012 campaign. Proswell, 52 years old, declined to address the court before U.S. District Judge Colleen Collar Cutley sentenced him. In April 2023, a federal jury convicted him of 10 counts, including conspiracy and acting as unregistered agent of a foreign government. The trial in D.C. included testimony from actor Leonardo DiCaprio and Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Justice Department prosecutors said federal sentencing guidelines recommended a life sentence for him, whom they said betrayed his country for money and lied unapologetically.
Wow, a life sentence recommendation.
And unrelentingly to carrying out his schemes. His sentence should reflect the breadth and depth of his crimes, his indifference to the risks to this country, and the magnitude of where's the magnitude? Yeah. So, anyways, this is kind of the situation he's in right now. Tom, your thoughts on this story?
Well, if I listen to the federal prosecutors, wow, Biden's in trouble. I mean, if you think about what Hunter Biden did, forget about the laptop. Just look at the foreign influence. Just look at the Ukrainian energy company. Just look at all things like this. So if this guy does this, he obviously stepped out of line. There's nobody protecting him. So it's like, what line did he step out of? You know what I mean?
Contributions from foreign entities cause our elections to sway to the right or to the left. It's not these guys so much, a lot of these billionaire donors, which will go however they choose, and I get that. But do you not see how they threw the book at him because he came in under a liberal administration? He did it on a liberal administration, but this is more of a conservative. This is Trump's administration. And he does, and you know what Trump feels about Obama. You know how he feels. Do I feel he deserves that? In some way, I think that there's truth to it. When you sit back and you want to lean towards a foreign entity influencing what's taking place in your political process, and we don't know the depth of how much that money influenced the election in its entirety. We don't know. They're not even talking about that. And with everything they put out, they still didn't address how large of an influence it had. But one thing we do know for a fact is if he did it, there's pretty much some other people behind there that did the same thing too. This is not a one-off. And I keep saying it's not a one-off. 14 years is that's a load, man. That's a brick. 14 years? He should be happy his ass didn't get life. Because a life sentence for mutiny and treason is what the Trump DOJ wanted to throw at him, hands down. Somebody called in a favor and somebody got this guy 14 years without getting life. Somebody did. Because we're not talking about something that's small. We're talking about a star power with influence doing this and wielding and moving that money. I don't know what Praz was thinking about. Did he really just, he just had to get involved with this shit. And this is what happens. And I'm not even going to go through the whole story because it sucks. It does suck. But when you do stupid shit like that, that's what you get.
I mean, Pat, it's like whenever you are, it's like Bernie. Bernie was way out of line. In South Carolina, they pulled the rug out from under him and everything that he stood for. They cut off funding. They did other things. They went after him. For a guy in this position to do what he did, wow. And they come after him this way, double wow.
Tom,
this is what
we keep forgetting that if we look at what's influencing the run of Mamdani's run, the fact that he actually won, the money that's behind him, even up to this time, the money that's been flowing into our country, whether it's through China influences, Russia influence, all of these countries, because we're wide open. And we keep forgetting we're a wide open country. Even though we've got borders that are put in there, we already see how they got through the borders. We haven't even spoken about the illegal money that has gotten into the border. So just like we had illegal immigrants, this is the illegal money that flowed in. And they need to talk about it. And I think they need to throw the book at it. He got a 14-year sentence, but there is a heck of a lot more people that's out there. And they better believe it. You better believe it. If we're going to see more stories like this come out with, I hate to say it, famous people like him, who are about to get like screwed up big time. About to get screwed up big time. You guys did this shit, and now you guys got to live in the shit that you guys created. And damn. All right. I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna jump into this Living Atlanta series that I got going on, because as somebody that's lived in Atlanta for 25 years, I've seen the good, I've seen the bad. I've seen the shit, and I've seen the flowers. And we get 65,000 people a year inundating the Atlanta metropolitan area, Atlanta metro area, and moving into this city. I mean, they're inundating the city more and more as these corporations begin to build and to move their head offices here. The jobs are here, but I tell people the jobs aren't here, which like the way you think the jobs are here is not. Atlanta, still with the high housing costs, the wages haven't even kept up with what Atlanta is like what they require from you when you go out at night. I mean, the horrible traffic that's on the highway. And then let's not even talk just about the horrible traffic. Let's talk about the horrible people that think they come down, that are coming down here with the belief that, wow, this place is going to change my life. Atlanta only changes the lives of people who come down here and they got their mind right. For the rest of you, it will be your downfall. And like I've seen it so many different times, you will run away from this city with your tail tucked between your legs. It doesn't matter if you're coming from Chicago or New York. This place will break you and spit you out. And then you will wonder why the hell you came to Atlanta. Because you're just, unlike some other places in this country, you're combining people from the West Coast, from the Midwest, from Texas, from New York, and they're all just like clamoring down here, and they bring bad habits and they bring negative mindsets. So if you think you're going to come down to Atlanta and just do what the hell you want to do, the way you want to do it, how you want to do it, I'm going to let this young sister tell you what it's like living in Atlanta and the 3 mistakes which everyone, well, I don't say everyone, most people, 95 to 99% of the people who move to this city actually make. And believe you me, you make this mistake, and you will make this mistake, because they will catch you slipping. And when they catch you slipping, they will take your shit.
3 mistakes I made when I moved to Atlanta, and I'm about to share it with you so you don't have to. Number 1, stop oversharing. Close your mouth. I used to be loose lips. I used to want to share everything. I wanted to share this. I wanted to share that. I wanted to tell this. Stop it. They don't need to know everything about you. Share enough, and that's it, sis. Number 2.
Before she gets to number 2, I see this happen so many times with African Americans because you guys believe this is the Black Mecca. They told you, and I've read books about it too. Oh, Atlanta, the Black Mecca. So you think everybody's your friend when you come down here. Everybody's not your friend. Stop trying to get friends from strangers. Matter of fact, be happy with God and your time with him, your fellowship with him, and your job and the vision and the thing that he's giving you. You don't need about a bunch of friends. The lie and the misconception is that you need to network your way to the top in Atlanta. You're going to be very disappointed because the top looks just like the bottom in some cases. There are very few people. There are people out here that are doing it, but honestly, they're going to look at you up and down and weigh if you even deserve a space in their circle. Why? Because they've seen this, they know it, and a lot of us who are here as veterans, we don't want to go through it again. We're tired of going through it again, okay? So keep your mouth shut when you come to this city. Be quiet. Don't tell people all your shit, and go make it happen, because actions speak louder than words, okay? They really do.
Everybody is not your friend. And I know it may sound harsh, okay? Hear me out. Everybody don't have the same pure heart like you do. And I know you think that. And I know you expect that, but they don't. Number 3, the traffic here is insane.
Okay. Before she even gets into number 3, everybody is not your friend. That is not a cliche statement. For whatever reason, I keep saying this warm and fuzzy people feeling of seeing black people and African Americans and cool white folks driving around in nice cars and running their storefronts or having their corporate jobs and business. You think for whatever reason, if you sell them a product in their home, or if they invite you, or if you meet them at some type of, that people want to be your friend. No, they don't. Matter of fact, they care more about their life than they do your life. Isn't that saying strange? Doesn't it seem strange? And I keep telling people this, and I will keep echoing this. Atlanta is not the place you come to gain some type of huge networking platform. Yeah, people meet people, and I've talked to people that bragged before about how many people they knew, and when they start telling you that shit, you need to run away. When they start talking to you about who they know, how they've known them, and they're dropping names, and then they're dropping this event with this name, and yeah, I know this person, you need to run. That is the token sign in Atlanta that shit's about to hit the fan. Oh no. And you won't listen because the lack of self-control is so evident. This place is a great place to get the bag. It's a great place to buy and build your real estate portfolio. It is the most beautiful place to experience winters, summers, regardless of what they say, I still love the summers, falls and springs in. It is the best place and a great place to put your kids through college and through school. It is an awesome environment if you want to go and pick pumpkins, if you want to go and pick berries, if you want to walk through cabins in the woods, if you just want to go sit out somewhere in the woods in North Georgia and just sit in a hot tub, and you know where I've been, and do your nails or cut your fingernails. I ain't doing it. We don't wear that. You know, it's perfect for that. It is not perfect to come and get your best friend from. Your best friend needs to be a transplant. They need to be people from other places, and you have to share the same mindset. They can't tell you that they share the same shit. You should sit back and watch them go through the process to say, okay, I see the fruit, and there it is. If you don't see fruit, stop taking their word for being fact. Please stop.
They gonna make you want to fight and get out and square up. I promise you, sis. Keep it cute, stay cute, pray, and keep going. Don't let nobody get a reaction out of you.
Yup. And traffic is crazy. I knew traffic in Atlanta was insane when I was leaving a church, and it's on a main street in South Atlanta. And I've seen this street get packed before, whether it's New Year's or 4th of July. It didn't matter. This street was just bumper to bumper because everyone from this great church is leaving, and it's a cool church, leaving. And you still have pedestrians that are, driving through on the main road. Traffic comes to a standstill. I don't know what possessed this dude. He got out. Whatever happened with him in the car in the front, he didn't calculate what was going to happen. He gets out the car, walks over, probably weighing on his best day $150. And he knocks on the window of the car. They tell him, dude, whatever the words were there, the mouth was moving, it was intense. He felt like he made his point, and he goes and sits back down. Bro, no lie to you, yo, no lie. This is the most craziest thing I saw. This dude gets out the car that he knocked the window on, like the person he went to, the guy in that car, after this guy got in his car, the guy who gets out of the car that he knocked on the window of, gets out, and I swear this dude had to have been like 275, close to 300 pounds, and everything on him was muscle. I mean, his neck was muscle, his arms were muscle, his legs were screaming, these pants are drowning me and they fucking with my head. And I just want to rip them on your face. That's literally what his pants were screaming. That's really it. And so he walks over to the car behind him, the car of the guy who just got out of the car, and taps on the window. And you can see in the car, the guy doesn't want to bring the window down, but he rolls it a little bit down, just slightly. And his girl is sitting in a car with him. And you're like, damn. And she's pulling him, like, pushing, like, yeah, don't say nothing. She's like, etching him, shut the fuck up. She's saying, like, shut up. Don't say anything. Be quiet. Oh my gosh. Homeboy, that day, he learned never to do that thing in public again. Never. He learned that it's better to exchange horns that beep in Atlanta than to get out your car. Especially if you get out your car and you decide to be low-key gangster. You don't have your gun out, but it's in your pants. All of that mentality needs to stay wherever you are coming to Atlanta from. Like, don't bring that down here. Because real talk, from the YNs to the dudes that are off the wall and you don't know where they came from and they look like they were eating prison guards in prison, you don't want to be a part of that. You don't want to participate in that. You don't want the bill from the emergency room with something like that. You just don't want that shit. You just don't want that shit. And so welcome to Atlanta, and I hope when you get here, you act accordingly. All right. So I'm going to take a break real quick before I even get into the next segment. I want to cover one of my partners that I work with as a real estate agent, 18 years in the business, working with investors for the last 15 years, being a flipper, a wholesaler, helping people find the right products that fit them, licensed agent and broker in Georgia. I can tell you right now that Legacy Peak is one of the companies that I enjoy sending people to or referring people to. And one reason I do that is because Legacy Peak Capital offers what's called a DSCR loan. And this DSCR loan will help you close that house that you're trying to close right now that you want to add to your portfolio, and it will help you scale your portfolio. Why? Because the 0 points to close. We're talking about no tax returns required, no income verification required, and people use this to build their portfolio because it's a commercial loan. And as a commercial loan, okay, you'll see that when you buy the house, you buy it under your entity. It goes into your entity's LLC. And then when it's in your entity's LLC, now you can create profit loss statements which show the bank that you're making XYZ amount in profit on a property, and it makes it so much easier for them to give you loans to do work, to enhance your property, to buy more houses, it doesn't matter, okay? But this DSCR loan with 0 points changes the game. All you got to do is go to legacypeakfunding.com. That's legacypeakfunding.com. This is for all my people wondering, how do I get my next deal closed? You do this. And if you're a first-time investor, and I've had first-time investors reach out to me constantly. You've never done a project before, but your liquidity strong, and you've got it there to be able to do it. Yes, you can get a DSCR loan also through Legacy Peak Capital. Okay, so go to Legacy Peak Funding, fill out the information. Somebody from the team will get back with you. I might be the one that does that. Who cares? I love talking to people out here, and I love making it happen, man. I love making it happen. True. So let's hit another story. Let's hit this. We got fries. We already spoke about the Section 8 thing. Hey, let's go to some of these raids that are taking place in ICE. Let's go to some of these ICE raids that are taking place, okay? Let's do that. Go to some of these ICE raids that are taking place because, wow, what I do know, and I don't doubt at all, is ICE I'm still against immigration. I'm still with the Trump administration in laying down a hammer, going through these communities, pulling out the people that don't belong here and taking them out and sending them somewhere. It's an insult to people who actually went through the process to become legalized citizens, who served in the country. Again, it's an insult to them for free money to be given away, free housing to be given away to people who cross the border, whether it's for a financial situation or not, because you don't know. People who are here already, who did the whole process, they crossed the border also legit, legally, and they deserve the right not to have the hard work and the money they paid to get their citizenship be looked at and spit on and all of that. We talk about all this other stuff having to do with immigration, and I agree. There's something that needs to be done for this immigration issue. We do have moms and grandparents that are here, that've been here 15, 20 years, haven't committed a crime. There does need to be a process that goes forth. But like I said earlier with the Marjorie Taylor Greene situation, this is the intentional right against left, left against right fight that we see. And it's happening and being forced to happen, pushed to happen, in order for the constituents on one side or the other to draw closer to their representatives, whether they're in Congress, whether in Senate, and rally the vote for them to take the White House, for them to take that position. Yeah, because if they wanted to do something about immigration, they would have did it. They really would have did it. And Trump's move to do it, I think it's just the start of what should be done. At the end of the day, we've got to address habeas corpus, because these guys are here under habeas corpus, what that truly means and how that truly affects us as Americans, okay? But it's a spit in the face to people who have already lived here, been here, got their citizenship, and they're moving around and building lives, and now you come and say, hey, yeah, I know you're a citizen, but we're going to give free money to Pablo over here because his country, he's seeking asylum from him. It's just not a good play. It's not.
More than 200 people are under arrest in a major ICE operation in Charlotte, North Carolina. DHS says they all have criminal records. Madison Scarpino joins us from Charlotte. What more do we know about these people?
Good morning, Stuart. Well, according to Border Patrol, many of them are accused of crimes like assault, gang affiliation, and drunk driving. So there are a lot of people in support of Operation Charlotte's Web, but there is also a lot of pushback. Right now, I'm standing in front of a local Latino bakery that the owner is temporarily closing because he says immigration officials are targeting his customers. And take a look at what went down here last night. A group of protesters gathered. You can see a car doing donuts in the middle of the road, people waving flags, signs, and chanting in support of this bakery and also against the operation. The bakery owner says he's worried for his business and he's scared.
Okay, so I will always be an opponent against people who decide to wave their nation's flags in the streets of America promoting their nation within this nation. I will always be a opponent against them. I will. Because there's only one flag that should be waved here. Whether you like this country, you dislike this country. Because you haven't been to a country where the government fell and chaos reigned. You have no idea what it's like. I've been there, I've seen it, and I know what it's like. Prior military, I've seen shit, and I know what it's like. There is no reason for that to be. And as long as that's happening, donuts in the middle of the street, Mexican flags, Venezuelan flags being waved, it's good to be proudful and to have pride in where you came from, but damn, you need to be able to conform to where you're at. You need to be able to make the change and conform to where you're at. Please leave a comment if you think I'm crazy. If you think I'm wrong and you disagree, you're welcome to leave a comment. If you like it, shoot some hearts and give me some likes. At the end of the day, this country has done a lot. Regardless of how shady shit can be, we can't turn around and say the politicians who are shady are an example or a reflection of what the whole system is. Because there's a lot of people, good people, that work in the system, that work in America, and they do good for people. Whether you're talking about housing administration, whether you're talking about Department of Education, it doesn't matter. But that shit right there, I don't care if y'all don't like it or not, I'm always going to be against it. And I will make clips and clips against it because it costs to actually become a citizen of this country. And there's a price that's paid, and you spit at that price when you turn around and as citizens, you advocate for migrants who left shithole countries. They did leave them. And nobody wants to admit that those are shithole countries. Everybody wants to say that the countries are beautiful. Yeah, the beaches can be beautiful, but the administration, the people who run it are shithole people. And for that reason, the people are dying, suffering from mass inflation. Venezuela, where they have to put their money into Bitcoin for a level of stabilization to stabilize their currency. And you think that just by letting them in without forcing conformity, learning the English language, and finding out if they really care about the country, you're dumb, you're stupid, and you are the epitome of the entitlement mentality of this country that I see is shaping and taking place whenever I see all of this. You guys are, some of them are just entitled. And I'm not going to say there's some of y'all out there that's listening to this. Yeah, it might be some of y'all that's listening to it. I don't know. But you're entitled. You're entitled. I don't have to agree with Trump on everything. And I don't agree with Trump on everything. One thing I can say is that this issue needs to stay at the forefront. And that people who sit back and they throw a hissy fit over something like this taking place, over ICE officers doing their job. You guys are the reason why the Republic suffers the way that it does. Because the people you vote in office, instead of holding them accountable for the shit they promise they're going to give you, you don't. You don't. You don't. And I still don't understand how foreign influences can come into this country, set up businesses without any socials, without any fund, without any social, and they can run bakeries and tequila restaurants, Mexican food restaurants, all these different places. And I'm talking to Chinese folks too. Y'all get it. Some of you Africans with African restaurants, y'all get it too. All of y'all get it. All of y'all can get it. Because at the end of the day, you're really it really screws up our country and makes it worse. Because it sends a message that anybody and everyone can come here and do what the hell they want to do. And that's when chaos starts to reign.
There's the amount of fear and a lot of fear. Nobody wants to know that a child is losing their father or their mother.
There's fear with people, I'm sorry, that lost family members and lost people that they know to illegal migrants that weren't supposed to be here and ended up killing some of them. So yeah, you're right. There is a lot of fear mongering going on, but some of the shit is justified.
But we have seen some heated confrontations, and some have turned dangerous. Border Patrol agents arresting this individual who allegedly jumped a curb and sped their car towards agents. DHS says they eventually rammed their car into those agents, and this is the second time it's happened this week, according to DHS. Secretary Noem says these officers are just trying to make the streets safer and are putting themselves in danger.
The individual.
See, you feel good until you sit down like this. Look at that. Let's go back. Yeah, you thought you were the shot until they sit back
that are
and they
out
got
there
your
protesting
behind. I want to show this joint. They got your behind sitting on the wheel of the automobile of the car, and they got you sitting down there. Look at that. Got us sitting down there.
Trying to make the streets safer and are putting themselves
right there. Just sitting right down there. They got to blur your face out because you're a fool. Because you're a dummy and you think that your little what is that? Impala is going to make this is your testament for the revolution. I saw this stupid movie last night. And it was entertaining, but it was also stupid. You had Leonardo DiCaprio up there. And what was it called? What the hell was that movie called? It was on Netflix. Another bad day or something like that, or it's another day and it's bad. No, it was on Prime. Another bad thing after another bad thing, or something like another bad incident or after another bad incident. But it's supposed to be these guys that are fighting for they're revolutionaries, fighting the United States government and freeing immigrants and fighting big business. And then he just spends days just smoking weed and just laying on the couch after he experiences the trauma of having to run and hide and have a fake name and passport because the government is coming after him. Why? Because he blew up a bunch of shit. I know I don't want to give the movie away, but when you're a fool, you end up sitting down there on the floor, on the cold behind floor, and you got these guys around you because you decided to crash your car into theirs in some type of revolt or delusional. You're just delusional about revolting. You deserve that. You deserve that. You definitely deserve that. Because just like Praz, for whatever reason, y'all think y'all can just do shit and there's no repercussion. You think you just do it. There's no repercussion. Yeah. So I kind of believe that you need to sit down on a cold, hard floor. They need to let your behind sit there. They need to take you to a cell and sit on a cold floor. You need to get some cold meals because you're fighting for people that left their country to break into your country, steal your shit and have you pay for it, and then you believe that the billionaires are responsible for it. Now, granted, there's a lot of stingy-ass billionaires, but there's some generous ones. Just like there's some stingy-ass people with zero money in their pocket, and then there's generous people who have nothing that still share what they have. The money is only an amplifier of what's in your heart. If your heart is dark, you're going to do dark shit. They just going to give you the money and you're going to do darker shit. Whether it's Epstein or some of these other ones they wrestle up. If you're delusional, you're going to do some delusional shit. You just going to do some delusional shit. You just going to do it. Because in your mind, it starts in your mind. It starts in your heart. It has less to do with the government and more to do with what's inside. The reason we can't get good politicians is because they don't have good hearts anyway. And we got some good politicians, and I'm not going to make that a general statement, but we have more of them that are trumped up and drunk on power, and they got to have it. They need to have it. Yeah. So they end up doing everything that they can or anything that they can underneath the table with big corporations. The same corporations you guys fight against are the same corporations that play Spanish songs throughout the day in their billion-dollar companies that they've never played before because they want to make illegal migrants coming south of the border to feel more comfortable. They want them to know that we're sided on their side, and then they want to bring them in and pay them delusional low rates because they have to replace the working class, the people who realize that, hey, I'd rather run a business. This shit is not making sense. They got to replace them. When you spread the message that it's okay to have that college degrees are the only way to be successful, and you just get that, you plug it into the system, and shit's just going to work out perfect for you. And you don't tell them about the grind. You don't tell them about the rejection. You don't teach them sound principles and not to be swayed by things that happen to keep going. But let's say they keep going and they press forward. Then you want to tell them and demean what they did as being, oh, that's minor. We need to tax you more because you made a little bit of money. You made some good money. You're probably at 98% of the people who make money. As an entrepreneur, I don't care about none of that shit. I don't. Because at the end of the day, I know that those big businesses will do what they need to do to always make sure they have somebody there to work. Because the high school students grow to be college students, and the college students grow to get jobs. And God knows if they move to New York with their degree, the level of entitlement that they display, which brings out a person like Mamdani. Yeah. So I'm 100% for them rolling out every single person that's there. If they see them and y'all want to say it's stopping them because of their color or ethnicity, stop them. If they black, stop their ass. If they Spanish, stop their behind. And I'm a black man telling you that. But worse than that, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to screw you up even more. I'm a black man that became a naturalized citizen when he was 13 years old, served years and years in the military, and seen a lot of shit. Was active duty when they blew up that stuff at the World Trade Center. When they flew it in to the World Trade Center, I was on base, and I thought it was a video game. Yeah. Yeah. Drag them out. Drag them out. Drag them out one by one. Drag them out. Now, for the people that say I'm crazy, you do this. You go to your politicians and you demand them to address habeas corpus. Because that's why they're still here. And that's the biggest hang up right now, determining what that is. Is it just for Americans, or is it just for people who also trespass and committed illegal actions stepping onto our border? So I'm passionate about it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. They need to do that. They need to drag each and every last one of them out. They need to do it. Because it doesn't affect people until you're someone where your son, your daughter, or your home itself gets robbed by somebody that wasn't supposed to be there. God forbid something happens to someone you care about that wasn't supposed to be here, that could have been prevented easily. It means nothing. You say, Leon, don't you got family or people that are non-citizen? Hey, they better have their shit in order. And I'm not taking it back. And I'm not apologetic about it. Because enough people who have done this shit, that going through the process, and every day someone leaves the immigration office having raised their right hand and pledged allegiance to the flag and got their certificate and they walked out. That means they spent the money, they spent the time, they went through the grind. They did it. And you're like, oh, well, you got yours. Why don't you? Yeah, we can advocate for people to get theirs too. And we should advocate. We should be the highest advocates for them within the restraint within the confines of the legal jargon. If anything, it should not be we shouldn't be advocating to bring illegal people into here. We should be advocating for the laws which determine who stays and who goes to be changed and adjusted where it is fair and it recognizes the need for a workforce, not just the need for a workforce that will conform to speaking English, a workforce that doesn't have a negative or bad history, or when I say illegal history, not negative or bad history, I ain't talking about what somebody said about you. I'm talking about what you did that potentially would have put you in prison in your previous country, in the country you came from. So when that takes place, I am an advocate for dragging out the ones that want to manipulate the system and want to drain the system. Because if you look at the amount of money that's spent in SNAP benefits, that was the biggest holdup, right? Medicaid and Medicare, that was one of the biggest holdouts, right? For this whole shutdown, government shutdown. People who don't belong here, or people who got in here illegally, not tend to, but we see the numbers that they do make up a majority, a good solid amount of the funding that goes into those programs. Yeah, they make it up. Hey man, I can rant and I can scream about this all day, but more importantly, you can take the time, like, follow, and let's talk about this a little bit more in the chat. Yeah. Hey guys, this is another I'm coming up an hour and a half into this. Leon, Duncan, Real Estate Lunchbox. Like, subscribe, follow for more content, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. If you're checking this on replay, just know, man, I love you, and I'm praying for this country. And I advise everyone to pray for this country, because we've got a difficult road ahead. And it's going to take people who see what's happening and to get in that place and to make the change. Okay. And I'm going to do one more, because I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this one. The mortgage affordability, the portable mortgage loans. Now, we're going to cut over to this, and I'll end with this portion. This portable mortgage rate that they're speculating that they want to bring into play will create a lot of confusion if they roll it out wrong. But if they do it right, it could actually change the scope of what big businesses make on the back of homeowners. I'm talking about crazy rates that change when you go from one house to the next. I'm talking about being a victim to foreclosure, to high interest rates, to losing your house. Just a victim. Something does need to change. And this was a big thing back in the 80s. And it went away because companies were losing a lot of money. Because if you could take your interest rate with you to your next house, now some of these mortgage lenders can't charge you huge rates because you had a 4% interest rate 5 years ago and you were smart enough to keep it. And it's 5 years later, you want to keep your damn rate. But the biggest challenge with this that I say, and I keep saying it, what about when it's upside down? Do we now put the government in a position to be your partner in owning that home? I mean, we already have them in it through the Fannie Mae process, but do we want them now to own Fannie Mae and then also to subsidize your drop in equity of your home? I would tell you no. You don't want that, because it makes it so much easier for them to say, we don't want to do this no more, and then you're left upside down.
This was a topic yesterday also when we were at the Goldman Sachs meeting when they asked the Vice Chair, Rob Kaplan, on what the thoughts are on 50-year mortgages as well as this portable mortgages. So Trump is considering portable mortgages. This is New York Post. Here's how it works. Federal Housing Agency Director Bill Pulte said the government agency is actively evaluating portable mortgages, which would allow homeowners to transfer their loan from their current home to a new home when they move. With portable mortgages, the homeowner would effectively be able to keep their existing interest rate and terms instead of paying off the loan and getting a new one. It's a strategy designed to inject movement into a stagnant housing market. Many homeowners would be buyers, have remained on the sidelines because they are reluctant to trade their sub 3% mortgage rates for today's loans hovering around 6.5%. Realtor.com senior economist Jimmy Kimmel told Fox Business that these types of mortgages aren't compatible with the architecture of U.S. mortgage finance, nor would they fix the broader affordability problems facing the housing market if they were. So the question is what? I have $1 million home, but I have $1 million home. I'm paying 3.5%. Now, if I want to go sell this, yes, I bought the house at $700,000. I will get $300,000 of equity out. So if I get the $300,000 equity out and I go buy a different house, I'm going to have to go from a 3.5 to 6.5. So I'm better off staying in this and not having to remove that 3.5 I have. This is a way of saying you can actually keep that interest rate and take that loan into a new house, sell your house, and buy another one, and you won't lose that interest rate. But how do they do that, Jeff?
Yeah, and he just outlined it right there. Perfect. When you have that equity that you're going to get from your house because you sell it and then you want to move to the next house, the way that the system has evolved since the 80s and we had this portable housing move, it hasn't made it easier with the fluctuation in values to do something like that. It hasn't. That was a big thing in the 80s when interest rates were north of 12, 13, 14%. Some of the stuff that people complain about with rates back then, oh my God, a 12%, 13% rate, nobody would buy a house. And we see already just at 6 and 7, people have slowed down buying houses. So this may be the version of the 12 to 13, 14% that we saw in the 80s. We may be dealing with that now, just in a different form at 6, 7, 8%. Might be. But the system has changed drastically. And it's so many tiers to this when you buy a house. Taking that loan amount, who determines now, and there's so many questions, who determines who qualifies for this or who doesn't? Is it based upon how much you sold, how much equity you have in a house? Is it based on how long you've been in a house? Doesn't? But we do understand this one thing. People have 2-3% interest rates. And I'm going to tell you, they're not looking to give those 2 to 3% interest rates up in order to move down the street, even for a house that's better, okay, and get a 6% or 7% interest rate. They're not. And as long as that gridlock stays in place where we're coming off the back of low rates, we'll always be in a place of deficit of homes. There's no incentive. Back when the rates dropped, what fueled a lot of the exchange of properties, buying and selling, was the lower rates. The lower rates made someone who had a rate at 5% from the previous market cycle to say, hey, I'm going to sell this. I've been paying my mortgage. My credit is great. I'm just going to roll into one of those lower rates. And so some people made out like a bad dog, like good, very good, but some didn't. Now, when we try to make it available for everybody, that's when we screw up. Because I'm a believer everybody shouldn't own a home. Some of y'all don't need property. Y'all don't even know how to take care of your freaking apartment. You don't need a house. You don't. If we do this, it should be tied to some type of financial education that is put in place to help people manage not just their homes, the bill on that, but their finances. You can't just give this away. Why do we have a system now that awards kids going to school and getting great grades, learning information that is deemed, quote, important to know, to go into a world where they know nothing about nothing about finances, very little about how to maneuver, because they've spent more time learning how to get an A in class. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations. Well done.
Hold on one second. I'm going to give myself an applause for that shit right there. Because it's true. Because these are the same ones who got great grades in class who are struggling right now to find a job. We don't educate them the right way and teach them the things that they do need to know to be successful. We just say, hey, get a degree, get married, get a house. And I'm telling you that the American dream isn't in real estate anymore. As much as people need, and they say, oh, real estate is the fastest way to build wealth. I'm going to tell you, somebody that's been in the business 18 years, that's flipped property, that owned property, ran Airbnbs, all that good shit. It's not. We make more money off of the business of real estate than we do actually off of the real estate. Because you can get 1 or 2 properties and have that as a tax haven. You don't need a strong portfolio, but a working business will navigate cash flow if you know how to do it through times of high inflation and through times when everything looks like it's hitting the flat fan. But they won't teach that to them, because when you create more business owners, you put competition in place for billionaires, millionaires, some of these same corporations that people complain about. I say the solution is go get a damn business. Go build something that echoes through time, legacy, through the country, that makes a change for people. Now, don't tell me, hey, they stopping us from building businesses, because no, it's not them stopping you. It's your lack of creativity that's fucking with you. That's really what it is. You don't understand that creative thinking goes into pushing capitalism. You have to be creative. You have to. You create things and you sell it, market it, and those things turn into, and deliver upon it, and those things turn into income. That's how you do what you do. That's how you do it. It's not by, oh. No, that's how you do it. You create, you market, selling, and then you distribute, deliver upon what you created. And then you get the bag. And then you get the bag. And I give myself an applause, because this is the basics that a system that makes people believe, or people look at and say, damn, why can't this be me? Why can't I do this? Why does Bill Gates or Musk have to be the first trillionaire? I don't want to be a trillionaire, bro. I wouldn't even want to do, I can't even reach that. I wouldn't even want to reach, I wouldn't even want to strive for that. No. The headache that comes with that, it changes you. Think about that. You got access to as much money you want in the world. You think that Elon Musk wouldn't have 50 more children? Come on now. Let's be for real. This portable housing move, portable rate move, is nothing more than posturing to grab something of affordability, to tie the administration some level of affordability as we go into the midterm. That's it. But it's cool. You know why I like it though? It's because it at least shows that ideas are rolling. Because you can present this, and then somebody else can look at it and say, like Ackman, and say, hey, Bill Ackman, like, hey, this is a good idea, but let's change it and make it a little different than what we had in the 80s and 90s. You know? Oh my gosh. Woo. Now we're innovating on what was successful in the past that we knew fit into our financial system. And since the system evolved, let's put an evolved version of it out there. Oh my gosh. But until we actually sit back and think about this, and people get together and they build on it, and we put people in office that's not just concerned with getting and maintaining power and doing what their political party tells them to do, until we have that, we won't have a solution to this. Matter of fact, some people believe they're going to destroy this whole thing just for the sake of fixing the crying that's taking place. And I go even deeper on this whole deal. I believe there's people that just have shitty lives that want to tear the system apart And there's people that have good lives that are sitting back like, why should we go back to point zero because your life is shitty? That's it. Just evil. Just disgruntled with life. That's it. And it's okay to be disgruntled with life because we live in a system already that clearly we all can agree that it's not fair. But what in life is fair? We can never have a fair system. It will never happen. The only thing that we can find fairness and peace and comfort in, and even some level of fight or standing to actually change things, is in God. It takes a change of heart. It takes a change of mind in order to reposition yourself, to stop saying it's not about me, but it's about everybody. It's also about the world that we live in. It is not just about me, but it's going to continue doing that. We're going to continue having people. Some of these guys that you guys love to follow and you love to hate, they give two fucks about this system. They don't. They just want to be like Nancy Pelosi and put $133 million over the course of their career into their pockets for them and their children. That's it. So as an 18-year vet for real estate, this sounds good, but it requires a whole lot more thinking, analyzing, and we got to evolve it. It can't look like it did in the 80s and 90s. It can't. And you guys got to stop demonizing creative real estate. You got to stop demonizing this shit. We got people who do subject twos, people who do owner finance deals that literally, if nobody did that subject to, if they didn't come in and rescue the owner, you would have another foreclosure on your hand. Look, I ain't even get through the rest of this, but I'm going to tell you, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I will see you guys on the next video. I am out. I love doing this. 18 years in the real estate business. Tons of real estate transactions. Gives me the ability, the time, the fortitude to sit down here and tell you when this shit is not right. And when it doesn't make any damn sense. Okay? And I ain't perfect in this thing. And I know I don't have the answers for everything. I'm just going to tell you about the real estate twist portion of it and bring that to you. Because I believe right now, part of my job is to point out the craziness that's happened, but also to point you guys towards the bag. And the people that are going to win in 2026, I keep saying, are the people who loan money, who or are in the place to loan money. Because it's so many opportunities that are there, so many ways to eat. The simple mind says fix and flip. The simple mind says wholesale. The people who are looking for the generational wealth, they're just not wholesaling real estate. They're putting money out there to lock in assets. And then if those assets don't pay or the people walk away, they've got assets at 65% on the dollar. Hey guys, join the Patreon. I am going to post more and more shit on how to make money without getting these licenses, without dealing with a lot of this bullshit that they put you through. Because I believe regardless of whoever you are, you need to eat in this market. You don't have to be an agent. You don't have to be a highfalutin investor to make at least 20, 30, an extra $40,000 off of what's taking place in this market. Going into 2026, money's going to be made because the market is bad and shitty. Money's not made when the market is good. When people were jumping in 2020, I kind of was laughing, and I had people who did deals, and I did a couple deals, but I'm going to tell you, it's nothing like what's coming down the line for 2026, 2027. God forbid it. But just like Warren Buffett said, one of the best investors of all time, American investors of all time, when people are scared, that's when you're greedy. When they're greedy, that's when you're afraid. And people are going to be scared in 2026, believe it or not. I see you guys on the next video. Talk to you guys soon.